Management strategy and organizational change. First lesson actually this is what is strategy. So let's take a look at what it is. Look, just imagine climbing a mountain. Just visualize yourself, of course not a snowy mountain, we don't have the facility in Sri Lanka. Just any hike, any mountain of Sri Lanka, anything outbound. Why exactly we do outbound training in companies? Just think about it, right? So the long-term goals of a company, what should lie ahead of us, beyond the horizon, couple of months ahead, what to do, how to win, how to reach the destination, how to reach the goal. We need to find out where we are, right? Before we think about what to do and how to do and where to end up and when to end up there, we just got to know where we stand and then where we need to be. Yes, from where we are and where we need to be, there could be risks. What are risks? Manageable ones, the micro ones. Uncertainties, unpredictables, macro ones. Risks we can tackle, uncertainties we better avoid or we better minimize. We can't avoid all the uncertainties, right? Some we have to face, what to do, and hope for the best. Risks we can minimize, we can avoid, we can overcome. Just think of the long term, when we plan a hike or a journey, anything outbound, going out with a family, we just need to see to the end, look to the end. Even when you prepare the vehicle, right? Family vehicle, or when you hire a vehicle, the destination, how long will it take, what routes are we to take, what would be the challenges we'll be facing along the way, right? All that. It's not a routine thing. It's not like coming to office, right? It's not like going to work. We plan specially for the outbound thing because it requires something different. Routine, we do it every day and the other day, so we know what to do, what awaits us. Unexpected challenges are rather less, but when you try something new, you've got to think of the long term. The probabilities here to think about when you go for a mountain climb, right, or a family outing. What may happen? What are the things that are likely to kind of face, come our way? And this one, anything that we do, okay, let's focus on the mountain climb, let's focus on the hike or the outing or the family trip, where we stand, what options do we have, and of these options, what shall we do? The action. You've got to have this road map. That means the direction we're going to take. And in order to achieve that direction and in order to achieve the end of it, what shall be done? Of the choices we have, we can't do all those choices. So we'll be talking, arguing, fighting, sometimes agreeing, disagreeing, and we'll make up our mind, right? That is a mission. That's a vision. And then only we get the direction. Position is not the mission, remember that. Choices is not the mission. They don't make the mission. What we select out of the choices we have and what to do thereafter is the mission and the vision. Okay, so entire MBA is mostly focused on this position, where we stand, choices, what are the things that we can do, probability, chances, and of them, what are we picking? Actions. So action, the long term. Then take a look at it. So when you make up the decision, so we've done the position, we identified our position, we got the options sorted out, and we've decided on a line of attack, right? A path of moving forward. The characteristics. So how have we made the decision? Together as a team, or one imposing the decision on the others? Did you discuss the plus minus, the implications of it? And yeah, the levels of strategy will be coming into talk. And look at the last one, SBU. All of you would have known in the industry. In a family outing, in a friend's journey on a hike, do we have the SBUs? Why not? Someone would be planning the journey, someone would be looking at the map, someone would be thinking about the transportation, another person would be focusing on the funds, cash, food. Different people doing different things. That's SBUs, strategic business units. So don't think that businesses invented them, right? There's nothing that the businesses have invented to do business. Everything the businesses have copied from real life. Inside a family, you have SBUs. Inside the family, you have levels of strategy. You'll be coming to that. And just when we make strategic decisions, we think about the way of making it, and we always think about what would happen because of the decision that we make. Plus, minus, we look at it 360 degrees. Just think of the decisions that your parents have made in your life, or you have made in your life. We think about it. Okay, the scope. Talk about the climb that you're going to do. How far, how deep, how hard, how strong, how many, within what time frame, on which day, at what cost. Scope. And yes, the actions that we are thinking or doing is something that would suit the environment. We cannot change the environment. Businesses cannot change the market. We have to change according to the market, change according to the environment. Like a mountain climb, right? The way you climb Alagalla mountain is not the way you're going to climb Sripada mountains or Hunaskivya, right? You change according to the environment. The way you swim in a river is not the way you'll be swimming in the sea. Businesses need to change, right? Forget about the business. I always talk about it, right? Think about the hike. We just got to suit to the environment. We cannot challenge the environment. That's a crazy idea to do. We have to change ourselves, adapt and adopt to the environment. And yes, what kind of resources do we have? Different people have different resources. I can't use my 90cc car to do a 1005cc gimmicks. Some people with a 50cc bike try to do the T50 bike, 250 bike actions. You can do that. Got to do the activities matching what we have at the moment. Very much so in outbound, right? And yes, whenever we make up a decision, got to think and rethink. Are we doing the right thing? Is it the right way to do? Do we have any other options? Or even when we have decided on a path of actions, always better to have a recheck. Check again. Turning back, making a U-turn is not a wrong thing. Just carrying on in spite of the obvious threat is a foolish thing. Just like the natural or rather organic fertilizer fiasco that Sri Lanka did, right? We have definitely identified the government that the fertilizer thing is an utter stupidity, that we just went forward. It's wrong. Entire fertilizer need of Sri Lanka tea industry is 30 plus million dollars. I'm sorry, but the tea industry is worth 1.5 billion dollars. Are we to save the $30 million by stopping the fertilizer chemicals, or doing that by sacrificing the 1.5 billion industry? We made wrong decisions. And okay, how far, how deep, how hard, how strong, how fast, how slow? Nature, magnitude. You plan it out, right? When you go on a family outing, long-term direction, the end of it. You have to look to the end. Because PKFNM is part of our life, guys, when you set up a strategy. Look to the end. Where would we ending up? How long would it take? What would be the pitfalls and the challenges we'd be facing up? How are we going to pace the journey? A team batting up in a cricket match, right? Following up or leading. The long term, how are we going to end the 20th over? How are we going to end the 50 over thing? It's not a case of, just facing each over as it comes, right? We plan a lot. more. Think about the hike. So what makes a team wins? Unity, communication, good leadership, good decision making, the front and the back and the planning. We need to know all these things, right? How much of water are we carrying? How much of food are we carrying? What about the first aid? Readiness for challenges, physical fitness. And yes, we cannot be reactive. We should be always thinking ahead, proactive, right? Weather may change any moment, when you go on a hike. So, doing things after the weather change happens, no. It's better to plan before the weather change happens. Gusty winds, rains, dry season, the mountain fires are a real threat. Proactive, plan ahead. And yes, we all got to be at our best, right? Best of efficiency. Physically, mentally, psychologically, in our actions, in our communications. We have to reach to the optimum level when we do something together. For the family, right? Mother, father at their optimum best when they take the kids out, right? On a journey. We don't complain, right? We try to do our best. And we also, right? I mean, elderly kids in the family, right? The elderly ayahs and akkas, right? We try to set examples for the malis and nanis. Efficiency. And yes, we learn together. Every time a family goes out, the family learns together. Every hiking, that's the very purpose of outbound training. Sri Lanka does not do the outbound training properly, guys. What you do is a company plans everything, company takes you there in a fancy AC bus, company drops you there and put up a circle and pass a ball. That's not outbound training. Outbound training is letting you plan everything. Company may support with funding. That's the outbound. So in outbound, what we see is a vision element only. The mission element is missing because the journey and the trip and the food and facilities and the lodging and everything is arranged by the company. That's just a damn trip. Nothing but that. Outbound begins the moment you start leaving the company. Sadly, it doesn't happen, so the learning is not exactly that good. And you have to be, it's a wrong word to use, but you have to win over the environment, right? Let's say you are planning a trip from, take Kandy to Arugambe, you got to have the competitive advantage over the challenges that you have. Maybe the road, maybe the weather, maybe the traffic, perhaps, the quality of the vehicle, the team that you are going with, the challenges in the sea, the beach, and on the way back, wildlife. So you plan better so that you will have a better advantage over all of them, not just defeating them, but achieving your objective of going to Arugambe and back safe, happy, right? With the environment, whatever the challenges are, the environment comes at you with. And yes, just identify our own individual skills and getting the best out of them. Okay, do we have it in the family? Corporate strategy, business strategy, functional strategy. Yeah, father, mother, the long-term plan for the family, right? Business strategy, yeah. We do our operational planning, right? Mother does certain things, father does certain things. Together they do some other things, and sometimes they appoint us to do certain things, right? Can you remember your young age as teenagers? And then what we do on every day? Manufacturing, finance, life, right? Homes, safety, security, food, cooking, cleaning, washing, functional strategies. Business strategy, saving money, physical fitness, health, right? We different people do different things, right? There are things that the mother does perfect, right? Education, health, right? Discipline, to a certain extent, the cultural upbringing. Father's more protection, safety. Yes, we use corporate strategy together. Mother and father plan for you. You have families now, some of you. Don't you have this? Think about it. Don't always think that strategy is business related, right? That's not right. Completely wrong. One example, Dilma. This man was in the tea industry. Of course, his family was connected to tea industry, but what he did to Sri Lanka tea, Ceylon tea, let's call it, is like none other has done. From 88 up to now, he has created a unique Sri Lanka brand, and he has technically, you know, uh, you know, stretched out either way, integrated forward and backward, entire operation under one umbrella, Dilma. Whereas the entire industry was going on CTC, right? He had gone in a total different direction without blending, unblended tea. He had done an unbelievable level of forward integration from the tea factory, or before that the plantation, the factory, and to the end user, the customer, serving 100 countries. Brilliant strategy. I want you to write about this topic. Take Dilma. Everybody was going multi-origin blends, mixing Kenyan, Chinese into Sri Lanka tea and selling them as Ceylon tea, abusing our brand. But Dilma never did it, right? Completely uniquely Sri Lanka tea, unblended with other stuff, single origin, and plantation to plantation he branded it. Unique strategy, plan of action. He had the options to go cheap, like what other multinational companies are doing. The global tea industry is $200 billion. But the funny thing is, the exporter nations of tea like India, Sri Lanka, Kenya, forget about China, right? We don't even make $10 billion out of that. So 95% of the global tea industry is run by the brands, by mixing, abusing, whatever with the tea. Producer nations don't make much. Same goes for the apparel industry, right? Sri Lanka makes lots of apparels, but the brands are others. Dilma, right, for lovers of tea, right, has done immense value addition to the country as well, by capturing a brand, creating a brand, and forwarding the brand to the people, to the consumers, end users in so many other countries. A great strategy. We call it the vertical integration, forward and backward both. He owns 41 plus tea estates, to my knowledge, up country, mid-grown as well as a low-grown tea. And then yes, he has a unique network of marketing. He does lots of packaging, right? All those things by him. Research, development, strategy of his own. No other Sri Lankan company has followed it up. I don't know of any other world company that has done that. This is his footprint. 25 million kilograms of tea, single blended, right? Over 41 tea plantations, around 12,000 tea tastings per single day. And income the company makes can be considered by just looking at the amount of money they've spent on social responsibility over the last 20 years, 40 million US dollars. And last year there was zero carbon footprint, right? And yes, they were diversified. Rubber, cinnamon, they are the largest producer. Rubber, they make up to more than 1.2 million kilograms of rubber. Think Dilma, opposition where they stood to 1988, choices they had, and the strategy and action they took, and they were a success. But the company is still learning. You can't be just sitting on your laurels, right? You have to keep learning, keep changing, keep improving, right? This is why they've gone to cinnamon. Cinnamon, Sri Lanka cinnamon is the best in the world. Only that we have never realistically benefited from it, by making something out of it. Rubber, same, right? Until Dilma came into operation, Sri Lanka never realistically added value. Position and the choices and the action is that. Thinking anew, thinking different out of many options. Identifying where you stand and make up your decisions based on that. Getting back to the hike, yes, every hike is a learning experience. Every OBT is a learning experience. Every family outing is a learning experience. To do better next time, right? Position, choices, action. Position, where we stand today. In a hike, right? Every now and then we have to make a check. Where we stand today, what our capabilities right now, how much of water, how much of food, what's the time that we have got, right? Okay, how is the team blending up together, the culture, the team sense, team feel, all that. And yes, where are we heading from where we are standing now? What about the environment, macro challenges we have? Every now and then when we go on a hike or a trip or whatever, we have to make this thinking for our own good, right? Safety, survival, benefit, fun, happiness. We should not be arrogant and adamant and not consider things halfway through. We have to identify the position. Our position changes. The position I am now is not the position I was 2 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. I need to understand my position as the environment changes. I have to think about myself. Next one, choices. As my position changes, my choices would be different. I may have chance of innovating. I may think about combining resources with others. Okay, personally, what should I be doing, right? As a team, what I can do, right? Options, and I may not be activating all the options, right? I may go for only one option, right? Even when you go on a hike, right? Are we to go faster, slower, or are we to change path? Are we to speed up? Are we to get back, change our idea, go another day, right? Are we to be more communicating? Are we to stop taking photos? Are we to ban people from taking selfies, which is dangerous? Are we to take care of people more, or are we to be more packed together because team is getting divided? So many options. How are we to change the food use, right? Choices, where to eat, where to set up a camp, right? Family trip, the plan that we had upfront may not be the plan we are activating, right? Because the choices may be changing. Don't think about the company, think about the family outing, trip, hike, OBT. What shall we do? The final of the choices we have made up, right? These are the choices we had. We can't do all of them. Out of them, we'll be picking one of them. Yeah. We should check, recheck, evaluate what we decide to do. Is it the right thing to do? What are the plus, minus? What about the probabilities? And how shall we do it, the process? Which way? Which angle? Which speed? And how are we going to plan it together? Okay, we have got the decision right now. What about planning about it? Who's going to lead it? What team will be appointing? Are we going to go for a tiny team for it? SBU kind of thing? So far what we've been doing, are we to change it? Do we need to practice it before starting it? Right? Action. Because when you go on an outbound training or a hike or a family trip, number one purpose is survival, coming back alive. Fun is number two. Of course, happiness, better chemistry between the team members, the family members, happiness. You're coming better people than you left in the first place. So what kind of a thing are we going to do? Right? Action. Do we think like this every time we go on a family trip? Choices. Identify our position. Do we think of our relationships like this? Where we stand now? What are the things we can do? Okay, you picked up one. How are you going to do it? Always have to think beyond business, right? Everything that the business done is seen better closer in real life. Yeah, it's not a case of if, how, when, and why are we doing it, right? Position, choices, action. Okay, so that's the end of our journey today. Let's catch up in another